Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Tea&Art. I hope you all are well. So let's start today's video. So today I am really excited. Again, I'm really excited. So because with working with resin is always everything about excitement. So I have seen this resin water. I'm sure a lot of you know about it, and there are a few artists on Instagram that are making these resin waters. I will link them in my videos. And there is another artist that was you can say the pioneer of this I think effect. So I will link everyone in my description so you can see them what I'm talking about, because they are the masters and they create amazing water, resin water. I am just trying here, so let's see, hope it works out. For my base I am using this air dry clay that I showed you. It's a normal foam clay that is used by kids to play, but it's a really good clay, and I do use it in my projects because it's an air dry clay and it dries very fast and it's very light. So I have taken a mold here and I am currently making a mold in a mold because I'm creating an effect for the water. So this clay is going to be a mold for me. This is an experiment. Let's see it turns out good or not. So currently I'm just spreading the clay into the mold here. I have taken a silicone round mold. So I'm just spreading the clay before creating effects. So I just saw how the water looks like and I'm just thinking in my mind that how to create it. So this is something I'm doing for my first time. So yeah, I hope it turns out good. So I'm just pressing with my hands and creating textures. So again, really up to you how you like to create a water ripple effect, water waves, or the smoothness of the water. So many textures for water you can search online. This time I didn't do that, but for next time I'm going to study the water effect, that how the water looks like, and in my mind I will try to create the water effect again on a larger scale. This is something I'm just experimenting on a smaller scale just to see how this turned out, if this clay work or not. So that's why I'm not going very big for it. So this did take me some time, and I will just speed up the process so that you don't get bored. So before I was just punching holes, but later on I'm just creating now the waves inside. So for that I'm just picking up more clay and I'm just adding it. So the one thing I love about this clay is really smooths up everything very nicely. So I'm just loving working with it, but I don't know how this will work with resin. But for yeah, so I just kept on adding clay and made water effects. So just kept on adding layers and layers, and after doing this one, when I was happy, I just left it to dry and I started doing a second one also, because I thought I'm experimenting, so try another one. I'm giving a mixed effect in that one, and for this one I will be going for ripples, water, the wave effects. While I was making this one I learned a lot and I thought I had something in my mind, so I wanted to do this one in this video. So we get options and see which one turns out great. So again, I'm spreading the clay into the mold. And I will be doing the same thing. So I will be speeding it up, but you can see what I am creating. So there are molds, and another thing there is that you create something yourself. So these things do take some time, and every time I'm working on our project, there are so many projects that are behind and they are in working process. So here you can see I'm making the waves now, and you can see the smoothness of the clay that I was talking about. It's really amazing to work with it. And now with the dotting tool, I'm making some tiny ones, creating textures. You can use an air dry clay as well, I think so, yeah. So yeah, this project was all about excitement because I was really excited. So after doing that, I let this to dry. So this is around next day and my clay is almost dried up, and I'm using a liquid latex here. I use this latex usually for my jewelry stuff, but this came in handy because one of the artists I saw online on Instagram, I'm tagging everyone on there so you can see them. She uses this latex to cover make a mold, make a barrier in between the mold and the resin. So this was such a brilliant idea. I was so happy to see this. So yeah, all credit goes to that artist. I think it's Jenny, but I will link everyone in my description so you can see that this was such a brilliant idea. She was making molds by adding latex as a barrier. So this opens up a lot of techniques you can do with resin. So what I'm doing here is I'm just dumping the latex that I poured in this one to the other one, just repurposing it, filling up the molds. So in the end, what you will be doing is that all the leftover latex will be going back into the bottle because we just need to cover up, that's it. So here I'm just pouring the latex back into the mold. It's a hassle, I know that, but believe me, this is such a good option. But one thing is that you need to layer it around two to 3 times. I did 2 times, but next time I will be layering it 3 times so you get a thick barrier of latex in between the molds. In this way you have to use silicone and make bigger molds for your water. Yeah, I did made a mess here, but I can't help it because it was so liquid. But don't worry, it dries up and you can peel it. It's so satisfying. So I will leave this layer to cure, and I will be pouring rest of the latex into the bottle back. Just be careful. I'm just finding that sweet spot to add my latex back into the bottle. Also, this latex is used for covering the back of the resin if you're doing a flat coating on your coasters. So this works as a barrier and your resin don't stick to your coasters. So here I poured back all the latex into the bottle. So I will leave these two to dry for a day. So see you next day. So this is the next day and I'm mixing my colors here. So there are no difficult colors to go for. I'm using my green transparent epoxy pigment and my turquoise epoxy pigment. So I will be just going with these two combine to give a beautiful water effect. Sometimes I just use the green and sometimes I just combine them, and sometimes I do use a turquoise. And I'm really sorry about that I sometimes do speak in a fast flow because believe me, I don't have any control of on my talking. I try to slow myself, but these things sometimes happen that are beyond my control. So here I'm just mixing these two colors, a bit of turquoise and a bit of green color, to get that perfect sort of green shade for the water. All across the sea and oceans, there are so many amazing tones of blue, greens. Such amazing nature is. Wow. Whenever I go to places that are water related, I always see the color of the water that do fantasize me a lot. It's so amazing to see how different places have different colors of water. So here I mixed my color into the epoxy here. And by the way, I'm using craft resin here. So if you want to treat yourself, I have a discount code for you all in my description. So you can treat yourself with craft resin. I also a fan of this resin. I do use this for making different effects. So yeah, it's an amazing one. So I'm just simply pouring this resin into the mold now. So in between, I will be using my heat gun just to settle up everything. And if there are any bubbles that are hidden inside any space, the heat gun will help me in removing those bubbles. So I do get some questions that sometimes why I get a bubble free resin. So I'm really honored that you feel that my resin is bubble free. So yes, I do have a airless curing machine by Resiners. So yeah, that is such a big help. But for the time when I'm testing some resins, I don't use the Resiner bubble machine. Yeah, but I do use that, but not today. I'm not using it today. So this is another way how I remove the bubbles. I do pour my resin, then I use my heat gun to remove the bubbles, then again I pour a little resin. I don't go in one I don't pour in one go. So this is another technique of me doing my resin bubbleless. So but if you like to purchase a Resinier airless, you can treat yourself. I have a discount code for that one also. I do love that machine a lot and it's helpful also. But please make sure that you put a low viscosity resin in the machine, not the high viscosity one, not the thick resin. So this one is done now and I will be putting it on a side. And now I will be doing the bigger one. For this, I'm just going with the simple turquoise color. So I'm making two at the moment. So I do have some requests for making a lot of stuff. So some of the things I have kept for our Halloween season and some are will be coming in the autumn fall. So soon when the August will end, I will be starting the autumn fall subject. Really excited to try those. So here I'm just mixing my resin and I'm ready and the color is enough now, and let's bring the mold. So this is the mold here and now you can see that all the latex has dried. Now let's see how it turns out. At the moment I will be pouring the resin inside. Again, I'm using the craft resin here. So I'm doing the same thing here. I poured a layer and now I will be using my heat gun to remove the bubbles that are locked inside the places. You can see there are gaps and depths. Just try to be careful for the beginners that are using the resin, that don't blow direct heat on one place, and just be careful. This heat gun is in particular has a very low setting of heat, so I do love to work with this one a lot. I do have the big one, but I think that it's a bit harsh one. This has a very light heat to it. I bought this one from Hobbycraft, but they are available online on Amazon. I will link everything in my description. And after that, I will be adding the rest of the resin into the mold. And again, I left a little bit of resin, doing the same thing in between, using my heat gun. And then the rest of the resin, and then again some heat gun. So in this way, I get a bubble free. I am not going to say it 100% bubble free, but it's almost. Now I leave these to cure. See you next day. So this is the next day. I'm so excited. So let's see how it turned out. First of all, I will be removing these out of the molds. So you can see easily the clay have been removed from the mold, and now now I'm removing the air dry clay, and you can see how easily it's been removed because of the latex barrier, but still it's usable again. And now I will be removing the latex. It took me some time to remove the latex, but believe me, it was so satisfying to remove it, and the voices that the latex was making, I don't think so I will be boring you all with the voices. I'll just speed this up, but I was, in a mode of removing the latex. Slowly, it was coming off. So I didn't talk in between because I just left it like that. So it's all done now, and let's see the final look, how they all turned out. So this is the final look outside in the sun, and I didn't explain before removing the latex that how they looked, but I'm just so loving it. I know that it's not the perfect effect for the water, resin water here, but still I'm so happy about that because the project went so smooth, and I'm so happy. And now I will be working with the air dry clay. And also one thing is that it's less expensive, the this one that I'm using, so I can use for bigger project also. And the latex one that I told you, that is so effective, but still it's so amazing. But my daughter saw this and she was explaining about me how this water looked like without telling me her that I made this. She said that this looks like water, mom. So this something made me happy, so happy. So this is the second one, and I think this one turned out really good and amazing. But please do let me know in comments which one you liked a lot. At the moment it's very transparent, so I was thinking of doing something, so I did add a white background to the water, and now I can see the effect that I was looking for. All in all, I was really happy that this turned out good. So I will stop talking now and leave you with my resin water project, so you can enjoy. And please do let me know in comments that how do you feel about this project and how it turned out, and if there is any room for improvement, because I really love your suggestions. So thank you so much. I hope you liked it. So like, subscribe and share. Thumbs up if you like the video, and if you haven't subscribed, please considering do so. It do help me a lot, and thank you so much always for your kind comments. Take good care of yourself. Bye bye.